I started noticing him around the same time I changed my work schedule. Every afternoon around 3:30, I'd cut through the park on my way home, and every afternoon he'd be there, same bench, same posture, same quiet way of looking out at the water like he was waiting for something. Most people walked past him without a second glance. He wasn't doing anything strange, just sitting. His hands always folded, his hat always tilted slightly forward, like he favored the shade, a small paper bag next to him, untouched. After a week, I started wondering about him. You can't help it when someone becomes part of your daily scenery. It's like when you see the same barista every morning, you start filling in the story in your head without even meaning to. One day I slowed down just a little as I walked past. He noticed. He smiled at me. A small one, but warm. I nodded back and kept going. The next afternoon, he nodded first. By the third week, it felt weird not to acknowledge him, like skipping a step in a routine. I'd walk by, he'd smile, I'd smile, and the world felt just a little bit more predictable for a moment. Then one day my phone died. No music, no messages to scroll through, no distraction. I slipped it in my pocket, and when I looked up, he was already watching me walk toward him. For some reason, one I still can't explain, I stopped walking. "Mind if I sit?" I asked. He shook his head gently, patting the spot beside him. "It's a public bench," he said with a laugh, "but I'd be glad for the company." I sat down. Up close, he looked older than I expected, maybe late 70s. His eyes were bright, though, like he still found things to be excited about. We sat in silence at first, no pressure, no awkwardness, just two strangers sharing a view of the water and the sound of distant traffic. "Beautiful, isn't it?" he said after a while. "The lake?" I asked. He nodded. "I used to bring my wife here, every day after I retired. We'd sit right on this bench and try to guess which dog running past had the funniest personality." I laughed. "Did you have a winner?" "There was a bulldog once," he said, smiling. "Walked like he owned the place. She loved him." I watched him as he said that last part. She loved him. Past tense. The kind that sticks to the air. "I'm sorry," I said quietly. He nodded, not sad, just thoughtful. "She's been gone a while now. But this place, it feels like the last place she was really herself." We sat again in comfortable silence. Birds landing on the rail, the sun dipping behind the clouds, a couple walking by with the matching jackets. After a moment, he turned to me. "You ever sit somewhere so much that it becomes part of who you are?" I shrugged. "I don't think I've lived long enough for something like that." He smiled gently. "Then maybe it's time to pick a place and start." I didn't know how to respond. I wasn't used to people giving me advice without trying to sound deep or philosophical, but he said it like it was the most natural thing in the world. He reached into the paper bag by his side and pulled out a small sandwich. He unwrapped it halfway and held it out to me. "Turkey?" he asked. I shook my head, laughing. "No, I'm good." "Well then," he said, "more for me." He took one bite and looked back out at the water. "Can I ask something?" I said. "Of course." "Why come here every day if it makes you think about losing her?" He didn't answer right away. He took another bite, chewed slowly, then folded the sandwich back into the bag. "Because it makes me remember having her," he said. "And remembering is a gift, not a burden." I didn't expect that answer. I didn't expect any of this, honestly. I thought I was just sitting down for a quiet break. But the more he talked, the more I realized how little I slowed down for anything meaningful in my life. I looked at the water with him, the ripples, the reflection of the sky, the way the breeze curved around the trees. It was simple, too simple for a world that constantly demanded attention, but sitting there, it felt like enough. We talked for a while, about little things, work, hobbies, the best pastries in town. He told me his wife's name. I told him mine. At some point, I forgot we were strangers. When the sun started dropping lower, he stood up slowly, stretching like he hadn't moved in years. "Same time tomorrow?" he asked. I nodded. I didn't even need to check my schedule. Same time. He smiled. Good. I don't like sitting alone on Wednesdays. Wednesdays? He winked. They're the days she used to bring snacks. He walked off down the path, steady but unhurried. I watched until he was out of sight. Now, every day at 3:30, I stop at that bench. Not because I need advice, not because I need company, but because sometimes the smallest connection can shift the way you see everything. And I'm not letting that feeling disappear, not when it found me so unexpectedly.